But what one is your favorite? Let me know. Leave a comment down below in the comment section. Welcome to Deliberately Creative. Today, we're going to play. We're not going to worry about what the outcome is. This is exploring color. I've been finding I'm having a hard time narrowing down what the colors are I need to use a lot of times. And I spend so much time worrying about what the colors are, I never create anything. I went ahead and bought myself the Sarah Renae Clark Color Cube system, and I'm giving it a go here. It's not that expensive. In the United States, she actually has a distribution center here, so you don't have to pay all of the import taxes or the huge shipping from Australia to the States. Check out the link below. 500 cards of inspiration. This is the card I'm using today. It's card number 127 from Color Cube Volume 1. What I've got here is a bunch of different tools. This is an intuitive painting process today. I am using this color palette, and on the back here it says azure, marigold, orange, blood orange, and olive. Now, I don't know for sure what exact colors I'm going to end up using, but I know I don't have anything called those names right now. So I'm going to be using this as my inspiration, but not necessarily staying dead on true to the exact colors. I'm going to try and keep it in this palette though, because it's just pretty. First off, I grabbed a set of some watercolors out of my little core watercolor set that I have here. This is out of the tubes. I put it in pans and I let them dry off. This has been set up for a couple years, so that's why it's a messy palette. I have my ultramarine blue, the quinacridone gold, the pyrrole orange, the cad red medium, and I have the sap green. Sap green is not olive green, but you know what? You do with what you got. So those are the core watercolors. Then I have some acrylic gouache here, so it's matte acrylic paint, basically. I have a permanent scarlet, permanent orange, a yellow ochre, and a sky blue, a little bit of burnt sienna, and I'm going to make my green because I don't have a good green in my gouache set. I found some acrylic markers that were sitting over to the side here. I love these markers. Now this is kind of a gray blue color. This is the red color that actually is pretty close to the palette. This is that gray blue, and it's actually pretty close to that azure blue. Who'd have thought, right? And there is this green. Now this green is a bit more foresty than olive, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, in small amounts, it's a good color. And then a white pen, and I have some Uniball white pens, some brushes. So I think it's time to play. I have some clean water, and oh yeah, and I do have this palette of inexpensive watercolors here also, and I will go through here. I know I have an olivey green color, and I've got kind of that bluey color, so I can actually get all the colors out of this palette. I'm painting on the Arteza 100% cotton watercolor paper. I got this a couple years ago. I don't know if they even make this one anymore. I hope they do, because I really, for practicing and playing on, I like using cotton paper, but I don't want to use the super expensive papers. I've taped it down with some artist tape. I have some scraps of the paper here to test colors if I want to, but remember, this is an intuitive process. I am going to put watercolor first, then I'm going to do any acrylic paints, that's acrylic pens or the matte gouache. Then I will do any of my mark making with the Signo Uniball pen. First off, I'm going to get some watercolor going here. I think I'm going to use a big brush. I want to play. I want to get some surprising things happening. Take the quinacridone gold. And I'm going to, oh, I love this color. Now, look at that. It's brighter when it's transparent, but it is drying darker, and when it is in its slightly thicker amounts, it is the same color as that card. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Intuitive. Intuitive means not listening to that voice in your head that's saying, stop, don't, you don't know anything. Nope, not listening to you. I am, oh gosh, so what are those? Yeah, those lines, the quinacridone gold is one of my favorite colors anyway. Oh, I want a little bit darker. Right now I'm just getting color on and I'm moving it around. I'm doing 4 at once. I am going to grab a touch of that blue. Ooh. Look at that. It's actually giving me some of that green in there too. I'm going to pick up some of that. This brush is a cat's tongue. It's not a filbert, but it's kind of like a filbert because this has a sharp pointy tip on it. Actually, I want to blur that out. I'm going to blur that out. I'm not really feeling the sharp points. But I do like that strong color, so I'll put some of that in here. Some of this, you're going to go, I don't know why I did that, or what the point of that would be, or how is that going to make a pretty picture. And it might just make pages of mud. You know, I might make mud. And that's okay too, because I'm playing and I'm exploring and I'm having fun. I'm a little bit darker up in that corner. Listen to what your head is telling you when it's giving you the, ooh, a little more color there, or that might be a place to stop, or if you get that little nudge that says, if you go any farther, you're probably going to be sad, stop. That is part of my process that I'm learning right now, is I need to stop when stop is being said to me in my head. I love how these two colors are working together and giving me, I'm getting that green in here. I'm getting that green without even putting any green on. I'm really happy with that. I think I want some of that pyrrole orange. Up here. Maybe in there. Ooh, this is, what can I say? It is fun. And now I am working wet into wet. So when it hits a dry spot, I get a hard line. When it hits a wet spot, I get a blur. So I'm getting hard line and then I'm getting blurred. Ooh. Wow. All right. Rinse my brush. Get some of this cadmium red. Let's see. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm just letting these sort of bloom out. Whatever they do, if they don't bloom, they don't bloom. I did drop a big blob of water on here just a second ago. I'm okay. Let it go. Let's see, kind of want a circle-y bit. There. 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 Now some of these are oh wow, they're doing that almost dendrite type of effect where, you know, when the water blooms out and the paint blooms out, how it's giving that spidery, webby type effect. That's cool. It may not stay, you know, that may not stay. But it's cool while it's going on. When you're playing like this, what you're doing is you're learning what your paints will do. You're learning what your tools will do. I am learning that this is a fun color palette. It's kind of autumn. I'm going to put a little bit more concentrated color in the centers of those dots. Those ones that really bled out. So what I could have done is put some of that blue in the centers of those, but then they would have started looking more like actual flowers. I wasn't too keen on having some actual flowers. I'm enjoying putting some of these circles on. Ooh. I will make that one a bigger circle. I like that. None up on those. I don't want any on those. All right. I need to let the watercolor dry. It's dry. This is flattened out nicely. I'm going to put a little bit of some stenciling on here, I think. And I picked up these really cheap stencils at the Dollar Tree. They were the Jot Do-It-Yourself projects, and they were $1 a piece when I bought them. So they'd be $1.25 now or something like that. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, now the burnt sienna is not on the card here, but it is an autumny kind of brownie tone, brownie goldy tone. So I'm going to take a little bit of that burnt sienna, a little bit of burnt sienna. This is the acrylic gouache by Turner. I am going to take a bit of this permanent orange and put some of that on here also. And I don't have a sponge. I want to do this now, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just taking some paper towel and I'm going to dip into both of those colors at the same time. That's going to brown down this orange a little bit. And then I think I'm going to do this flower, sort of a mandala flower. Ooh, well, maybe I want to put a little bit of this yellow ochre out also. That yellow ochre is actually very close to that yellowy brown color there. So I'm going to grab a bit of that yellow ochre on there also. So now I've got a really good mush of colors, right? And I'm just going to... So this is a thick stencil, and this idea of doing it with the paper towel isn't working very well. Is not working very well. I don't want to lift it off of there though, lift this off. So now I have to see what I have within arm's reach, huh? And I moved. Okay, you know what? That's fine. Ooh, actually that is kind of fine. I'm going to slip this down this way. This plastic is warpy. It's not your best. It's not the best. I'm going to grab this little chip brush that I have here. So, mush that in there. Oh yeah, that's way better. And then grab some of that orangey bit. There we go. That's way better. I want to touch that brown. Just tapping into a few spots. Maybe a little bit more of that yellow. That's fun. I'm going to go ahead and I think I like that kind of paisley that's right there. So that paisley flower thing. I'm not going to worry about making it perfect. That's pretty. And maybe a touch of that coming up right here. Haha. See, I just plunked it down with my brush. Bouncing up and down, not scrubbing it in. There we go. Drop the brush into the water. Now I am going to hit this real quick so that I don't transfer that paint around. This paint brush or paint pen. It's acrylic paint pen. This is the kind of green tone. I'm going to make some marks. I like that. I'm doodling. And sometimes the doodling works and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you just have to keep going. There we go. Okay, I'm starting to like this a little bit better. You know, just from the corner. I guess that kind of makes it feel almost like beach grass, maybe? Or pond weeds. I don't know. Sometimes when you're playing intuitively, you don't have control over what's going to happen here. I'm letting my hand, my pen, my eye, Just sort of guide and direct. And, you know, you never know what it's going to look like when you're all done. I'm throwing a bunch of stuff at this and seeing what happens, what makes this sing. It's kind of like exclamation points. I want another one there. Yeah, I don't think I want to put any more of that green on that. It's like, no, that's enough of that. That's fun. That's fun. I like that. Sometimes all it takes is putting more layers on. I like those. I like those layers. Doubling up those lines. Ooh, I like that. Now this is not a super strong paint pen. It's not as opaque. That's okay. I do have my Uniball Signo pen, and it is much more opaque. Not sure what I'm doing. I'm just making marks. If it ends up coming out with something, that's awesome. Let's see. Ooh, there's some already circles there. Interesting. It's kind of like through a screen, maybe. That's cool. I like that, actually. It's almost like a layer of fabric got put on top of it. I like that. I've been doing a lot of the slow stitching lately, and what I'd really like to do is doodle on this like I was stitching it. So not the green, not the green. Let's go with my, ooh, that blue. Let's see. Let's say there's stitching going down the edge. I like that. Maybe this was stitched. You know, it's just paper. It's just paint. There's nothing here that the world is going to end if it doesn't turn out the way you would like it to turn out. So just go with your ideas. How else will you know if they'll work or not? And when you're using materials that are not super precious, it's a whole lot easier to let go. Yeah. You know, as you do, you just do. Yeah, I like that. Just sort of making this into some type of bush with flowers on the ends. I don't know. I am just letting my intuition move me. Sometimes it moves in wonderful and amazing ways, and sometimes it sort of takes you off into pathways and journeys that you didn't ever expect. And they may or may not be, what you would want, but all of these colors work together. So it's going to be something, it's going to be something, I think. Oh, there we go. I like that. I like that a lot. I think this one's going to get that swirl on it also. I like those swirls. Yeah, I like those swirls. Almost like raindrops coming down. This is like a waterfront, or, your brain wants to make things happen here. And you don't have to have your brain make those things happen. These little white dots, they help to break up some of those spaces. Little white dots break up lots of things, And this is just tapping up and down, but not pounding. Just enough to release the ink from the tip. And if your Uniball pen is not releasing the ink very well, it may be clogged. So just roll it off on another piece of paper. See, things got a little dark up here, so I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. Not worried about if I'm going over the top of things. I really like how this looks almost like a rusted metal piece on that. But I'm, again, not worried about making it perfect. Dash lines. Sort of reminiscent of that slow stitching and filling in spaces with little details. The paint is dry. This paint dries so quickly that I'm not too worried if I put my hand across it. Just a little bit of that center bit. Ooh, I like that. Kind of overlaying a little bit on that sort of slate blue. Sort of pops that out a little. I think that for a playtime, this has worked out really well. I played for less than an hour. I've got 4 little pieces. I'm going to take the tape off and show you what they look like when they're all cut apart. That white is like putting fairy dust sprinkles. But let your intuition guide you. You know what? Yeah. I'm just going to put very light, sketchy swirls on those. Haha, there we go. Let your intuition guide you. If it says, hey, I need a little bit of this there, Go for it. Do it. Your intuitive painting is your art. Nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. So don't worry about it. And then pull this tape. This is artist tape. It is made to give you clean lines. It's not my tape roll is a little bit older, and so there's some edges. There's a little bit of if your tape roll gets any of this like lint and stuff like that on the edges, it can make your edges not be as clean. A little touch of white paint, no big deal. Or you just let it go, because you know what? This is playtime and it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's look at this on with the black background. So let's look at, oh, isn't that beautiful? You know, and if you end up with 1 out of 4 that you really, really absolutely love, you're doing really good so far. Oh, look at that. Wow. These are so pretty. Look at that. Autumn flowers. Those autumn colors. They're a series. They work together, but they are individual and they can be their own thing also. I love that. And they were inspired by these colors, inspired by this palette. I think that is super, super cool. So these 5 colors plus the burnt sienna. And truthfully, this orange, I could have said the burnt sienna was the orange. I really, really like this one. I really like this one. I like this one, and I'm not so keen on that one. But what one is your favorite? Let me know. Leave a comment down below in the comment section. Have you used these color cubes before? If you have, what did you do? And if you've never used it before, do you want to see me do more sort of random, intuitive, color challenging myself picture paintings, drawings, whatever? Let me know. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you enjoy this video, share it with your friends and share your artwork with me on Instagram at Deliberately Creative. And I want to see you back here again really soon. Go out, do something creative, take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. See you back here again really soon. Bye, guys.